Welcome to another hsextra.com high school football video, Coach's Clipboard edition. My name is Joe Serrera, and I'm talking with Darryl Brown, head coach of the Grimsley Whirlies. Darryl, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Thanks, Joe.
Your Whirlies obviously are 11-0 after a 69-37 win over Davie in the first round of the Class 4A West playoffs. What did you see from your team in that game? What did you learn about them?
Well, I mean, it was a weird night, and their offense obviously causes issues. They're up tempo and play extremely fast, and their quarterback's a really good player. I mean, they're averaging a little over 30 points a game coming into that game, so they were right on par with what they've been doing. Long game. It felt like it lasted forever, just with incompletions and quarterback scrambling out of bounds, stuff like that. But I thought we played well at times. We had to play a lot of different guys and change up some personnel due to some things that they were doing. I thought our kids adapted really well to that. And just as the game drug on, it was just some different things that happened that, doesn't concern me, but just made the game kind of different than what we're used to, I guess. But offensively, I mean, we ran the ball really well. I had about 500 yards rushing and did some good stuff on offense. And I thought that offensively, especially the guys that we count on making plays, I mean, they made plays again. And then, two of those guys went over on the defensive side and made some plays, Alex and Terrell. So, our team, like I said, was able to adjust and adapt to a different style, which is what we'll also see again this week.
Yeah, you mentioned Alex Taylor and Terrell Anderson both going over and making plays on defense. Is that an issue that you guys were having over there, or is it just that those guys are such good athletes that you got to get them on the field every chance you can? Kind of like Khalil Stimson, with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've always done that. Even going back to Southern, when I was at Southern, Reggie Gillespie, when we needed, would play linebacker.
Yeah.
So when you have, in my opinion, those two guys are two of the best players in the state of North Carolina. So, they can do a lot of different things. I mean, either one of them could be defensive standouts if they had to be. You've got those guys. We're going to use them when the situation's right, when it's needed. That was kind of the deal on Friday night, just for the simple fact that their tempo, we had some guys cramping and some different things going out. So it also forced our hand a little bit to have to play those guys. But we always have them ready to go, and they're always a part of our defensive game plan each week.
This week you're home as we record this, still not sure of day, time, and anything else with Charlotte Catholic. That's a team that obviously, as you guys know, went up to Pathtown and beat a very good Reagan team 48-22. This Charlotte Catholic team is not a typical 17 seed, is it?
And no, not at all. Not at all. I mean, they're very capable of winning the whole thing. They're a really good football team, playing a good league, and the films we got on them, they got 2 losses by a total of 2 points. So we understand what we're going up against.
What do you see from them as you prepare for them? They do some things that are different from what a lot of teams in North Carolina do, don't they?
Yeah, they're a wing T offense. You don't see it a lot. When we used to always play against the wing T offense when Fritz was at Southeast and I was at Southern. That was a big rival for us and, a big game for us every year. And I think it really helped me and some of my coaches that were a part of those years, going into this week, just the fact that we've prepared for it before, we kind of have a feel about how we want to practice and how we want to kind of set our personnel and things of that nature. But Charlotte Catholic, I mean, they're very good. I mean, they're 2 tight end set with the wing, and their running back, number 30, is a tough, hard-nosed kid who runs it downhill. Their offensive line's really good. And then on top of that, they got a tight end that's committed to Notre Dame and a quarterback that's committed to West Virginia that, if you have any kind of success at all stopping the run, which very few teams do, then they have the ability to hit you downfield with play action pass and stuff like that, which makes it really hard because you can't defend everything. You have to kind of commit to what you're going to try to stop. And obviously, when you do that, you're always going to give up something. There's something that you can give up. But that's with any offense. But very well schooled, very well disciplined, something they've been doing for years. Those kids kind of grow up in that system, understand what they're going to be doing. And they got a great staff down there. And, they're good at what they do. So it's a credit to them. And we got a lot of respect for them and how they play.
And one of the things that stood out to me about them looking at their numbers, 2 turnovers in 11 games. I mean, there are a lot of teams that, have more than that in one game, let alone in 11 games. And I guess that kind of speaks to the discipline that they play with. But, you mentioned Coach Fritz. You guys saw them in your DJ Reader Jamboree, didn't you? So you saw a little bit of what that type of offense.
Yeah, we did, but we didn't have any prep for it. We didn't prep
Mm-hmm.
for the jamboree or the
Mm-hmm.
scrimmage and what they were doing. And so, I mean, our guys, to be honest with you, probably had no idea that they were going up against a Wing T team
Right.
that night. And even this week, we haven't drawn back or used that game as a reference or that scrimmage as a reference in any way.
Mm-hmm. What does your team need to do? What do the Grimsley Whirlies need to do on Friday night to get to the third round of the playoffs?
Yeah, well, I mean, defensively, we got to find a way to get a stop or two.
Mm-hmm.
They control the ball, control the clock, do a great job of that. But if we can find a way to get a stop or two, and you say only 1 or 2 stops, but there's going to be very limited possessions throughout
Right.
the game.
Yeah,
So
that's the way they want to play.
Yeah, 1 or 2 stops is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can find a way to get a couple stops, I think it puts ourselves in great position. Offensively, we gotta execute, be efficient, not have any 3 and outs, put their offense right back on the field. Do a good job of changing the field position, make sure we move the football and kind of be able to flop the field position if we can, if we don't score. But it's at a premium that you score the football offensively for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got the weapons to be able to do that, the guys that can do that. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be a great challenge. It's going to be a great game. It's a game I think that is worthy of a 4th or 5th round kind of game. And we're excited for the challenge. This is what you want. If you look across the 4A West, 16 teams that are left, I mean, you probably could say 8 to 10 of them teams easily are capable of winning the whole thing. It's a gauntlet. So this is what you get. And this is, as a competitor, this is what you want.
Yeah, we still don't know as we record this when or what day, what time the game is going to be played. Look at hsextra.com on my Twitter feed to get updates on that. But whenever it is, if you're a high school football fan and you're anywhere near Guilford County, come see that Charlotte Catholic Grimsley game. You're not going to see a better game in the second round of the playoffs than this matchup. We wish you luck in that game and going forward.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it.